Greetings to all of you. Today, this particular Sunday is often addressed as the International Father's Day. This is also June the 21st of the current Gregorian year 2026, which of course means that this is the longest day in the Northern Hemisphere and the shortest day in the Southern Hemisphere of every single year. This International Father's Day is not merely something which must be appreciated by those who have biological children, but also by those who do not have any biological child. Many people like to address me as father, even though I am neither a member of the clergy, nor am I a pastor, nor do I belong to any religious organization. But they like to address me as father because they believe that I am one of those individuals whom they can trust, with whom they can speak quite freely, even about their personal problems, without having to fear that I might betray their faith. But this is not merely in my case. Each and every single one of us can be a father or a mother to each and every single one of those who need us in their darkest hours. We are human beings, but we can claim this particular identity if, but only if, we behave, act, and live humanely. It is genuine humanity which makes us worthy of our human births. And under the given circumstances, we can be fathers and mothers to every single one of those who need us, who want to trust us, who want to be with us, and those who consider each and every single one of us to be their parents in their darkest hours. We belong to the race, as I reiterate at this very moment, and said in the past time and time again, the race known as the human race, the supreme of all creation, superior to all other species of the animal and no doubt the plant kingdom. We have human lives to lead based upon humanity. We need to be humane towards those whose cry reach our ears, and even those who fail to cry because they are too feeble, they're too weak, they're even too frightened. At this moment, we are considerably concerned about the global situation, or we should be. But the global situation, the wars which affect us so seriously, are not merely wars between human beings. We are confronted with far more dangerous wars, known as the wars of nature, which is causing various types of illnesses during not merely the past years and decades, but also centuries and even millennia. At this very moment, many of the African countries are so seriously affected by Ebola, even similar to a situation with which they are confronted at this moment, with which we, all of us, were confronted a few years ago, the situation based upon Corona or COVID-19. And COVID-19 spread so rapidly because we were not taking those situations seriously enough. But this is a war which we must fight and win, the war against Ebola at this moment. We could have won against Corona much more easily if we took precautions and took them seriously enough and acted thereupon. And we need to act very seriously against the current situation known as Ebola. Not by isolating those individuals who lead us, but coming forward to help them. We are spending so much money on wars. We are spending so much money upon our dreams to be on other planets. Yet, we are disregarding the grave danger caused by Ebola at this moment. We must act, and act seriously enough, not disregarding the situation, not taking the situation for granted, but acting upon it to ensure that we combat this situation in order to overcome the situation, even for those who lead us at this very moment, as if we were their fathers and mothers. I heard certain people calling out, in order to build up, or I should say rebuild, the Holy Temple of Jerusalem. I am not an opponent to those people. I am and remain a proponent to those people, provided, of course, we do not forget the warning given to us by God the Almighty, even as the warning and the message delivered by his divinity to King David, whom he said should not build the temple because he had too much blood in his hand, but his king, I beg your pardon, but his son Solomon, King Solomon, would build the temple because he was considered to be more righteous than King David himself. And King Solomon obeyed God's commandments and rebuilt the temple, or I should say built the temple, which took 46 years to build. And even when the temple was destroyed for the first time, individuals like Nehemiah came forward to rebuild the temple. We can rebuild the temple provided we do so with clean hands and a pure mind, committed to our Creator, God the Almighty, remembering the fact that his house is called the house of prayer for all nations, not remembering certain individuals causing destruction, but remembering our fellow global citizens who would love to see God's house rebuilt, built upon God's wisdom, God's justice, God's equity for all, because we ourselves, each of us, was created in the image of God the Almighty. If we can recognize these facts, remember those 10 commandments, and act upon those 10 commandments, then and only then we can become worthy of rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem. This is my errand, this is my message, this is my proclamation, however humble I may be, upon this special day known as the International Father's Day, even this longest day in the Northern Hemisphere, even in Jerusalem, and the shortest day in the Southern Hemisphere, even those, and for those who are considered to be our fellow global citizens, all of them. I thank you in anticipation for your kind understanding and for your coming forward to rebuild the true temple of God the Almighty, which is there for all of us, which is no less than his own image. In other words, our fellow global human beings. Thank you, and bid you all the same Almighty's protection, who built his holy temple in us, and we need to ensure that holy temple of God the Almighty within us is not defiled by our vicious nature, even by our thirst of others' blood, even the blood of the innocent. Remembering King Solomon, that he was a righteous man. He prayed for wisdom in his dream, not for riches, not for wealth, not for his own glory, but the glory of his and our Creator, God the Almighty, who created all of us and has entrusted all of us with his creation, even the needy, the helpless, the fatherless, the widows, and most certainly all those who need us at this very moment in their darkest hearts. Thank you, and God bless.